.357 Magnum, Smith & Wesson. Oh, if you are a revolver person, you definitely want a Smith & Wesson .357 Magnum. If you don't have one and you are a revolver person, I don't know. This one here is the Model 28. This is also the Highway Patrolman. This is kind of the where it kind of began, or these started their life, is known as the Registered Magnum by Smith & Wesson, the original .357 Magnum, which came out, I believe, in 1935, and it kind of morphed into the Model 27. And the Model 27 basically is just a very deluxe model of this. So kind of the odd thing is the 27 came first. Obviously, before that was the Registered Magnum. But the Model 28 was kind of an unusual twist for Smith & Wesson to remove things rather than to add any kind of features on it. And some of the things, the real big elephant in the room about the 28 is the finish. Now the finish is not as lustrous and glorious as their high polished Model 27, but I definitely don't have a problem with it. And then they matted all the sides. You can see mine's definitely been enjoyed, and I will continue to enjoy it as its new owner. So yes, this one is mine. I got it and very happy with it. So also the top strap here is not checkered like the Model 27. The Model 27 is checkered there. So this one here, without kind of making it sound bad, this is kind of the budgeted version of it, or I guess as they could put it, the utilitarian variation of this, the Highway Patrolman. I just love that roll mark right there. That is so cool. .357 Magnum cartridge. Yeah, the Highway Patrol. This is built on the end frame. I love that kind of a tapered barrel. I really love that look of that. It's just awesomeness. But it's built on the big old end frame, and this sucker can handle some diet of good rounds. If you want to spice things up a little bit, this thing can definitely stand up to it. This model is a -2, so it's a pin barrel and countersunk cylinder. Yeah, we definitely like that. Collectors love that. So awesome stuff. No key lock, and the firing pin is on that hammer. Thing of beauty. And it had the T-grips on it already. Whoever had it before me had those on there, and I just left them on there. It had the original. These are the original kind of Magna grips, I guess you could say. So now the Model 28 was manufactured, I believe, from 1954 to 1986, and it was just really geared to police officers, and that's why also the 4-inch barrel is kind of an attraction to me. I had a 6-inch barrel, and I sold it because I just for me it's hard when I get an end frame Smith & Wesson and it's a 6, or any kind of a barrel length like that, and it's not a 29. I know I'm such a dirty hairy fanboy that I just can't stand it. I just would rather just have the 29. So in this case, with this, with a 4-inch barrel and everything, I said, this is a package. I like this thing a lot. So this is a really cool Smith revolver for sure. I mean, I definitely wanted to give you guys a good look at it. Now, some of the things that I really like about it, I gotta tell you, like, the big old end frame, and it's going to handle it. And look at how much meat there is on that cylinder between each ones, because there is something to be said. I'll get my little fancy awesome pointer here, but where these lockup lugs are, and then of course they index right over the weakest part of the cylinder. But with all that extra metal there, it's going to be fine. And then the other thing that I've always liked about these is, and including the 27, is, let me see, I'll get a look at it here. Look at the size of that forcing cone. I tell you, look at that. I mean, the thickness on that is just amazing. Now, I've touched on these before when you're kind of going around looking for these things. You know, some of the things I look at. First, definitely, I always look at the forcing cone. I've seen them where they're just chewed up, or there's a fracture or a split in it, and something that you may not even know right away, and then all of a sudden you get home with it and you bought it, and then they say, oh, well, no returns. But yeah, you always look at that forcing cone because that thing could be chewed up. The other thing I look at, I start to make sure is you pull back. Now what I'm pulling back on is this. Let's pull that latch back. And what I'm doing is I'm pulling that latch back and checking out the hole in the frame here where that lockup lives right there. And what that does is when it goes in the lockup, it gets pushed in there by this pin right here. And that's what locks the cylinder up, aside from the one up here in the front. But when it does push into there, here, pushes that back, and then so when you're actually releasing the cylinder and you're pushing the latch forward, it's coming forward like that. Now what I'm looking for is if it's gouged out right here, if there's some gouging. And what that usually is telling you is somebody, before pushing this completely forward where it's supposed to be, where it bottoms out and the way it needs to be, and then popping the cylinder, they're going about halfway. I don't know what, why they wouldn't actually, make some really good definite, pushing this forward before popping the cylinder. And what that is that pin is overriding and just overstriking this area right here. So these are just some things I look at when I'm purchasing these things and that, and making sure that there's not any kind of excess space between the crane and the frame right here, because if there is, it could mean that somebody was cowboying the thing and slamming the cylinder shut, which is just really bad for that crane, and it could have bent it and definitely screwed some things up there. Making sure also the locking lugs are in good shape. They're not big old chips taken out of them and everything like that from somebody spinning it and slamming it shut again. So, but yeah, definitely gonna have to hang on to this one. The Model 28, you can see they kind of they bead blast the rounded areas here, of course the top and all that, which I like. I mean, I like the fact that this thing is just, it's a workhorse. It's I'm gonna take it to the range, I'm gonna enjoy it, I'm gonna shoot it, and just happy to bring it to you so you can check it out.